Sri Anandamayi Ma ki jai. From Sri Ma, one can but rarely get a definite decision on any problem. That is why I wondered of what use it was to write down her utterances. I asked Sri Ma about it. Sri Ma, at least you have understood that there is a state where problems are no longer settled in any particular way. In the course of your life, you have, after careful consideration, come to a decision on many questions, have you not? But now you will have to realize that no solution is ever conclusive. In other words, you will have to go beyond the level where there is certainty and uncertainty. The resolution of a problem arrived by the mind must of necessity be from a particular point of view. Consequently, there will be room for contradiction since your solution represents but one aspect. What then have you actually solved? You will find a complete and final solution of each particular question from its own particular angle of emergence. And you will also find that there is a place where all problems, actual and possible, have but one universal solution, in which there is no longer any room left for contradiction. The question of solution or non-solution will then cease to arise. Whether one says yes or no, everything is that. Concerning the value of religious and philosophical discourses, Sri Ma said, by listening repeatedly to discussions and discourses on topics of this kind, the path to first-hand knowledge of what has been heard gradually opens out. You know, it is as when water uninterruptedly dripping on a stone finally makes a hole in it, and then a flood may suddenly surge through, which will bring enlightenment. Be it the perusal of sacred texts, listening to religious discourses, engaging in kirtan, God must be the Alpha and Omega of whatever is done. When reading, read about Him. When talking, talk of Him. And when singing, sing His praises. These three practices are intrinsically the same. But because people respond differently, the same is expressed in three different ways to suit each person's temperament and capacity for assimilation. Essentially, there is only He and He alone. Although everyone has his own individual path that leads to Him. What is the right path for each depends on his personal predilection based on the specific character of his inner qualifications. Take for instance the study of Vedanta. Some seekers become completely drawn in it, just as others may so lose themselves in kirtan as to fall into a trance. A student of Vedanta may become wholly absorbed in his texts, even more so than the one who gets carried away by kirtan. According to one's specific line of approach, one will be able to achieve full concentration through the study of particular scripture or by some other means. First comes listening, then reflection, and last of all, the translation into action of what has been heard and pondered over. This is why one has first of all to listen, so that each may be able to select Vedanta or Kirtan or whatever else be in his own line. Have you never come across people making light of Kirtan, saying what is there to be gained by it? Nevertheless, after listening to it for some length of time, they actually develop a liking for it. Therefore, one must listen before one can reflect. And then later, what has been heard and reflected upon will take shape in action suited to the person concerned. To listen to discourses on God or truth is certainly beneficial, provided one does not allow oneself to be moved by a spirit of fault-finding or disparagement. Should there be differences of outlook to one's own, to find fault with others creates obstacles for everyone all around. For him who criticizes, for him who is blamed, as well as for those who listen to the criticism. Whereas what is said in a spirit of appreciation is fruitful to everybody. For only where there is no question of regarding anything as inferior or blameworthy, asat, can one call it Satsang. Who is known as Vaishnav? One who sees Vishnu everywhere. And as a Shakta, one who beholds the Great Mother, and nothing save her. In truth, all the various ways of thought spring from one common source. Who then is to be blamed? Who to be reviled or suppressed? All are equal in essence. Thou art mother, thou art father, thou art friend, and thou art master. Truly, thou art all in all. Every name is thy name, every quality thy quality, every form thy form indeed. Yet, he is also where no forms exist, as pure, unmanifested being. All depends on one's avenue of approach. Is it not said that what is viewed by the Shaivas as the supreme Param Shiva, and by those who inquire into the self as the one self, is none other than the Brahman itself? In reality, there is no contradiction so long as the slightest difference is perceived, even by a hair's breadth. How can one speak of the state of pure being? For this reason, no matter what path anyone may choose, it is that. Vedanta actually means the end of differences and non-differences. Vedant, end or culmination of Vedic wisdom. Shrima here plays upon words Veda and Bheda, difference. In Bengali, the letters B and V sound alike. Ant means end. While engaging in sadhana, one must concentrate in a single direction. But after it has been completed, what comes then? The cessation of difference, distinction, and disagreement. Differences indeed exist on the path, but how can there be a difference of goal? Sri Anandamayi Ma ki Jai.